This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. If you blinked, you missed the opening day performance of Pirates ace and NL Cy Young Award winner Paul Skeens. 2/3 of an inning, 5 runs, 4 hits. New York leads Pittsburgh 11-5, bottom 7. Brewers with 8 unanswered runs. They're up 8-1 on the White Sox, top 6. Nationals scored 5 in the 4th. They're leading the Cubs 7-3, bottom 5. Dodgers begin their 2-time World Series title defense tonight when they welcome the Diamondbacks, 8 Eastern ESPN Radio. Not only could LA make history in 2026 by becoming just the 3rd team ever to three-peat, Shohei Ohtani could make history too. ESPN MLB analyst Jessica Mendoza.
But I see him trying to be the first player to ever hit 50 home runs and have 200 strikeouts in the same year. But you think about it, he's done it separately, right? He's hit 50 home runs. He's had 200-plus strikeouts. Putting that together, I mean, this is Shohei Ohtani. He is in his own little game that he's playing.
Just unsportsmanlike. Duke starting point guard Caleb Foster will be a game-time decision tomorrow in the Sweet 16 against St. John's. He's missed the last 5 games with a fracture in his foot.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, the UConn women continue to roll, but will any team be able to stop them on their quest to back-to-back championships? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN.
Say what?
This is Freddie and Harry.
Trucker Sean, you got the safe space. What you got for the safe space?
Man, I'm really sad, Freddie. A couple of months ago, you was talking about how you met a girl at a bar when you was at college, and you told her you had a friend, and you went to the bathroom and shaved your beard off.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. We are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, live today for the first time from the Spine Center. And we are thrilled to be here with our new hosts. And we'll tell you plenty about them here as we are here today. But my goodness, what a day it is in the history of LSU athletics. I am not into hyperbole. If you have listened to this show over the years for any length of time, you know that about me. I try to be tempered and measured in the way that I go about how we talk about things. Yes, I have been known from time to time to red-faced rant or even ride a horse because I think this job should be fun. I also believe that it is important to be measured in commentary when we discuss things, especially this nature. Today, though, is a day that is truly unique in the history of LSU athletics. And people misuse unique all the time. Unique means literally one. There has never been a time, as far as I can tell, in the history of LSU athletics when LSU rehired a coach that it fired for cause. And there have been instances of coaches returning to a place in college athletics. Greg Schiano went back to Rutgers. Bobby Petrino went back to Louisville. We see that. This is wild, y'all. LSU rehiring Will Wade is some on-brand LSU-ish. And I am here for all of it. We're going to spend so much of this show today dissecting this entire thing. How it happened, why it happened, what it means, all that sort of stuff. Not only for LSU basketball, all the other sports, all the tentacles that touch it. But the bottom line is this. Football is the non-negotiable at LSU. Football feeds everything else. Football will always, always, always get whatever it needs to function at the highest level possible. Period. That's the non-negotiable. After that, as LSU fans, the interest level generally vacillates. You know this. I'm not telling you something you don't know. The interest level vacillates based on success. In the late 80s, early 90s, when LSU football stunk and Skip Bertman started going to Omaha every year and winning championships, people fell in love with LSU baseball. It corresponded with Dale Brown's run with Shaq and Stanley and Chris, and people had LSU basketball fever. They had gone to 2 Final Fours in the 1980s. Now, LSU women's basketball, gymnastics have certainly fought for elbow room at that table. But LSU basketball is the thing that provides the biggest opportunity for LSU that is so neglected. The only 2 sports that have a shot of making money are football and men's basketball. And even finishing 3-15 in the Southeastern Conference, LSU men's basketball only profited, still profited about $2 million. 3-15 in the conference, and you still profited $2 million. The financial opportunity and the brand awareness that you are missing by being irrelevant in basketball and a fan base that is wholly apathetic is almost immeasurable. I can put down numbers. I've shared these with you before. You ask folks at LSU, they'll tell you LSU creates a winning culture in basketball, sells out every game, premium seats, all that stuff. They could net an extra $4 to $6 million. So you could push revenue, or so you push bottom line net, right, to $6 to $8 million if you max out men's basketball. But the brand opportunity of being in the NCAA tournament, being relevant in men's basketball, that's where you're really missing out right now by having friends and family at basketball games because the team's so bad nobody wants to go see them. There is one person, that realistically in an instant flips that. And LSU hired him today. It's Will Wade. I'm not saying, to be very clear, I'm not saying nobody else can win here. What I'm saying is your basketball program is not good enough with the realistic level of investment in facilities and staff and roster and everything. Your basketball program is not good enough to attract a coach like you did in football when you got Lane Kiffin, or like you did in women's basketball when you got Kim Mulkey. You can't do that at LSU in men's basketball. So if you wanted to fire Matt McMahon and go a different route, if it wasn't Will Wade, you're going fishing in the mid-major pond again. And maybe you hit on a Nate Oates. Maybe you nail it. Or maybe you end up with another Johnny Jones, Matt McMahon type situation. There's one guy who immediately gets the fan base excited, and you hired him today in Will Wade. It is uncanny that this has happened because of how it's transpired over these last 7 years. From when Will Wade was first on that federal wiretap, he was vilified nationally for doing something that everyone else was doing. He just happened to be on the federal wiretap. Fired for cause, which, by the way, was the right decision. Let's not operate under some revisionist history mindset. LSU, the NCAA, was holding basketball hostage, basically, or holding football hostage to get their pound of flesh from Will Wade. That's what they wanted. They wouldn't rule on LSU football until they got their pound of flesh with Will Wade. LSU did the right thing in sacrificing basketball to save football. That's the right thing to do. We may have hated it. We wanted Will to stay. We all wanted that, but not at the expense of football. But to be fired for cause, to be out of the game, then McNeese for 2 years, NC State now back at LSU after 1 year is an uncanny set of circumstances. Now, I'm going to go through how all this transpired. And I do think it's fascinating. But I think there's 2 reasons primarily why, if you're asking yourself, why would Will Wade leave a better basketball job for LSU? I think there's 2 reasons. And I'm going to ask him these. I'm going to ask him this specifically. He's going to get asked a bunch, but we're going to talk about this when he comes on the show. And he is going to come on the show a lot. Number 1 is alignment. Listen, I'm a big believer in criticize when warranted, But if you're going to criticize, give credit where it's due. And I hammered Governor Jeff Landry for how he bungled the Scott Woodward thing. It was a mess. He misread the whole situation, and it was a national joke. And I criticized him for it. To his credit, since then, he helped tremendously land Lane Kiffin. He had Jordan Seaton at the governor's mansion. And in this instance, he's the one who put the dominoes, who lined up the dominoes to make sure this happened. He hired Wade Roos as the system president, or it was his handpicked choice. Wade Roos coming over from McNeese. He took Lee Mallett, moved out Scott Ballard as the chairman of the board, put Lee Mallett as the chairman of the board. Lee Mallett and Jeff Landry a year ago tried to get Will Wade from McNeese to LSU. And to get all of that alignment in place, Governor Landry deserves credit. You want to criticize for things? You can. But if you're going to criticize, give credit where it's due. And without his actions, this ain't happening today. Because I'm telling you straight up, a year ago, when Scott Woodward stood in the way of this happening, Verge Ausberry was opposed at the time as well. And I know Verge, although he hasn't said this publicly, was not in favor of this move to bring Will Wade back or to bring Heath Schroyer in. But again, we all have a boss. And in this instance, the governor deserves credit for lining up the pieces to make this happen. That's one. The alignment is a big part of why Will Wade is back. From governor, board chairman, system president, Heath Schroyer in athletic administration, his people are here to help pull the resources he needs to win. That's one. Two, I think, and this really matters, are the people. And I'm not sitting here trying to be all Pollyanna. I'm not trying to get you to go get a tissue and wipe the tear out of the corner of your eye. But the reality is, nationally, Will Wade is viewed as a villain. He's a black hat. He's a heel. Ever since the strong-ass offer on the federal wiretap, Will Wade has been vilified by national media, by opposing fan bases, other coaches. People don't like him. Whether they know him or not, they don't like him. Except here. When all of that was happening and everyone was taking aim, LSU fans didn't turn their back on their coach. They stood in front of the darts. They took the arrows. You took the arrows for him and defended him and cheered him and loved him and still do and were ticked when he got fired. And I'm going to tell you, maybe I'm psychoanalyzing Will a little bit here, but the bottom line is nobody wants to be hated. And for Will Wade, there's one place, literally one place, where he could go and do no wrong. Look, he could have won big at NC State and they'd have loved him. But there's one place where no matter what he does, says, what he's adored. And it's here. His people are here. He has alignment here. The people here love him. And he's going to get an opportunity to finish something he started because Will Wade believes he can win a championship here. Now, I don't, just to be very clear. Like, I don't think you win a national championship at LSU. I'm not trying to throw a wet blanket on this fire. But maybe look, Indiana won a championship in football. Miracles happen, especially in this era. But I think those two reasons primarily are why Will Wade left a better job. NC State's a better job for this job. What a time, man. What a fascinating thing to see unfold. All right, it's after further review. We got so much to talk about here today. We're at Spine Center. Thrilled to be here. SpineCenterLA.com is the website. SpineCenterLA.com if you want to learn more. Amazing spot here. Dr. McCarthy, Dr. Herod, they do awesome work. Put back pain behind you. Spine Center can help. Okay, our show up and every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Crack open a few cold ones, y'all, and celebrate the general coming back. let me knock out a break. We're supposed to have Kendall Rogers. Muse, I may bump Kendall. We'll see. Because I got so much more I want to talk about here. I want to talk about what transpired over the last 36 hours to get us to this very moment and let you know what's happening right now, because there is currently a plane in the air to go pick up Will Wade. So let me knock out a break and we'll continue here. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're glad to have you with us here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out. Remember, right now, our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air are offering the preseason AC tune-up. You should have this done at your home every single year without exception. I do. You should as well. Think of this like an oil change for your car. It's preventative maintenance. They'll come, they'll make sure your AC is tuned up in tip-top shape to run efficiently. If they diagnose a small issue, they can fix it before it becomes a very big, very expensive issue, and it will extend the life of your unit. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. Earned both on the court and off. And every step along the way, I trust Our Lady of the Lake to keep me in the game.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes, because it takes a champion to care for champions.
On the court, I trust my team. For my health care, I trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sport.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Will Wade made a business decision. He came to NC State.
Right.
Used NC State for a year. whether it was timing or whether it was just like, hey, I can still cut it at that level. And instead of just driving directly to Baton Rouge because it wasn't correct at that time, took the triangle way, literally, no doubt, just took a triangle, came up here and is going right back to Baton Rouge.
That's Paul Ihander from ESPN 99.9. That's stupid. You know what's interesting? It's going to be interesting to hear the wailing and gnashing of teeth from Raleigh, similar to what we just heard from Oxford with the Lane Kiffin stuff. To have these two situations in close proximity, it never feels good to have your coach leave you, because what it suggests is you are less than. And nobody wants to think they are less than or their program is less than. But to think that if you're NC State and you think that Will Wade used NC State, that's stupid. He used NC State to get to a lesser job? No, he used McNeese to get to a better job. He didn't need to leave McNeese to go to NC State to get to Baton Rouge. The only reason, again, that Will Wade wasn't here a year ago is because Scott Woodward stood in the way of it. And when Governor Landry and Lee Mallett tried to make that happen a year ago, it's a well-documented story at this point. And it's part of the reason why Scott Woodward is now former LSU Athletic Director Scott Woodward. And you'll know my feeling on that. But anyway, I'll tell you something else. Matt McMahon was the lowest paid coach in the SEC. And my understanding is while Will Wade is going to make more money at LSU next year than Matt McMahon would have made, the offer, as I understand it, that NC State had made for Will Wade to stay was more money than what Will Wade is going to make in Baton Rouge next year. He is taking less money to come back to LSU. And there is some wild cockamamie report, good word, by the way, cockamamie, about this $15 million commitment for Will Wade and his roster. I will tell you unequivocally that is false. LSU, this is going to be hard for you to believe. And you can choose to believe what you want, but if you go look at the way I've reported on this the last 48, 72 hours, if you have any questions about whether or not I know what I'm talking about, okay, whatever, it's on you. You make up your own mind. But I know absolutely LSU has not given Will Wade a guarantee of a roster figure. Like, they have not told Will Wade, we will guarantee you X for your roster. None. They did not give him a guarantee. The condition that Will Wade wanted to come back was Heath Schroyer. Heath Schroyer was the McNeese AD who was hired today by LSU formally. This has always been part of this conversation. Will was never coming back without Heath Schroyer, in part because we know Verge Osbury and Will Wade maybe don't see eye to eye, and Verge didn't want this, so Will needed an ally in athletic administration. Well, this is his guy. It's Heath Schroyer. But as I understand it, Heath's role coming in primarily is going to be to work with basketball to get them the resources they need. Heath at McNeese did an outstanding job of fundraising and creating new sponsorship opportunities and getting resources into the athletic department. That, as a sort of a salesman, that was his sort of his superpower. So he's coming here with that intent to get Will the resources he needs for this program via sponsors, donors, whatever it may be, to inject that capital to get the resources for the basketball program. But if you think Will Wade used NC State to get to LSU, my goodness. Okay. Can't really be helped there. Let me kind of give you a catch up on how this all transpired today. So a day ago, Will Wade, two days ago, Will Wade and the NC State brass met. That was thought to be a meeting where they were going to offer him a contract extension. That didn't happen. This was again 2 days ago. This was on Tuesday. it ended up being a meeting where Will kind of led it, talking about what resources he needed and so on. That evening, Tuesday evening, is when a lot of the news from NC State sources started to percolate that Will was interested in LSU. And by Wednesday morning, that had become hot. That's when NC State reconvened with Will Wade Wednesday morning to discuss the LSU reports. Will told them, yes, there's mutual interest. At that point, NC State was within 24 hours going to make an offer to Will Wade to stay, their best offer. That meeting happened last evening, Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening. And as I understand it, the terms of what NC State offered were not disclosed to me, but as I understand, it was a hell of an offer. So again, Will Wade will be making less money in Baton Rouge than he would have made in Raleigh. But at that point, when he walked away without agreeing to those terms, it was on. Late last night, maybe in the overnight hours, is when Heath Schroyer signed his term sheet with LSU to come aboard. And at that point, of course, Will was on board. It was just a matter of finishing the final contract negotiations to get this thing done and then negotiating the buyout. Remember, the buyout was $5 million. It drops to $3 million after April 1st. The LSU's objective was to see if they could negotiate a lesser number there so that Will could just get out and NC State could move on. Instead, because LSU would have been content to wait another week to save $2 million. But NC State, obviously now needing to hire a coach, needs to get into the coaching cycle, and then the portal window opens on the 7th. So there's a lot to do. Wasting a week would have potentially been very detrimental for NC State. So both sides are willing to negotiate. My understanding is that they did come to terms on a settlement of the buyout of $4 million. So they met in the middle. The number was 5. It would drop to 3 next week. They settled in the middle at 4. So LSU's paying a $4 million buyout to NC State to get Will Wade out of the contract immediately. Today, I tweeted this at the time, but it was sometime around maybe 1:30 p.m. I don't know exactly the time, but it was sometime in the 1 o'clock Central hour. Members of the LSU contingent were boarding a plane to North Carolina to get Will Wade. So Will Wade will be back in Baton Rouge today or this evening tonight. If you want to go look up the flight trackers, be my guest. I ain't doing that. Y'all go knock yourselves out. I'm not going to track planes anymore. But Will Wade will be on a plane to Baton Rouge tonight with the LSU contingent. And then the other question people have asked just sort of procedurally is about the press conference. So the LSU women's basketball team plays in the Sweet 16 tomorrow. And it's my understanding from the LSU administration standpoint, they do not want to distract from the LSU women playing in a Sweet 16 game tomorrow. So the press conference is not going to be tomorrow. I don't think they have a desire to have it on a Saturday. And then should the women win on Friday, they would play again on Sunday. So early next week, maybe perhaps Monday, is when you'd be looking at for the introductory press conference. Again, none of those details have been finalized. What was explained to me earlier today is that they don't want to hold the press conference to distract from the women playing in the Sweet 16 tomorrow. So expect likely a press conference early next week and not on Friday. But Will Wade will be back in Baton Rouge here today. You know, another person I think that deserves a tremendous amount of credit here. You know, we talked about, Governor Landry and Lee Mallett. So this was their brainchild a year ago to make this happen. And those are two influential people who are used to getting their way. And we're not willing to back off here. But LSU system president, Dr. Wade Roos, as I understand it, was instrumental in this as well, in getting Heath Schroyer here, in sort of calming those waters where his athletic director wasn't on board, but making sure that they had a unified front and alignment, and of course convincing Will Wade why and making sure Will Wade got the things in place that he needed. I mean, this was, remember, Dr. Wade Roos is the one who hired Will Wade at McNeese and hired Heath Schroyer, and so he really is that central figure in this whole thing that was sort of the connector piece for all of these units to come together. So if you're someone who's sitting here who's very excited today, as well, I think you should be, the alignment we're talking about from Governor Landry and Lee Mallett and System President Dr. Wade Roos and Heath Schroyer, they all deserve credit for sort of pulling on the rope in the same direction to get this done. So we'll hear from all of these people individually, I'm sure, when the press conference happens. Well, maybe not the governor, Lee Mallett, but certainly Dr. Roos, who was there when Lane Kiffin was introduced, and we'll hear from Will Wade as well. So when that day comes here shortly. All right, it's After Further Review. We're live from the Spine Center here on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Always love telling you about South Point Volkswagen at southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. Remember, right now, 0% for 60 months. Plus, that's 5 years, plus a $1,000 customer bonus when you buy a brand new Volkswagen Atlas. That's only through the end of the month. So you get 5 days. 5 days left to go take advantage. End of the month is a great time to buy. Got to move inventory, got to meet quotas, and you have a great deal right now on Atlas. 0% for 60 months plus $1,000 customer bonus. That's on Volkswagen Atlas right now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Let me not get a quick break. We'll pivot briefly. Kendall Rogers will join us, preview the weekend ahead in the SEC. But a lot to get to. LSU spring football is back on the practice field today. We'll give you the practice report. We will go up to Raleigh in an hour. Noah Fleshman will rejoin the show. He was here last week. Kentucky head baseball coach Nick Mingione in hour 3. A lot to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, it is 85 degrees outside. I mean, we are just steamrolling toward pool season. You got a heater on your pool, you may already be swimming right now. That might have to be my next investment. Extend pool season by another couple of months. Anyway, point being, if you want that beautiful backyard paradise, your outdoor oasis, your own resort-style living at home, Duplessis Builders can make that a reality. Remember, when you call Duplessis Builders, they're going to build you a beautiful pool, but lots of people can do that. You don't need me to validate it. Pool and Spa Magazine named Duplessis Builders a top 50 pool builder in America, top 50 in the country. And they offer a 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. You are buying a premium product from a company that builds beautiful pools that last. So check them out, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalVR.com.
You know, when you're in pain, you can't wait. Here at Spine Center, they get you in quickly. Their motto, get them in fast. They want to treat all of Louisiana. SpineCenterLA.com. You got back pain. SpineCenterLA.com. SpineCenterLA.com. We'll tell you much more about Dr. McCarthy, Dr. Harrod, as we move throughout the show today. What a day as LSU has rehired Will Wade. As I told you just about a couple hours ago, plane was wheels up for North Carolina to bring Will Wade back home to Baton Rouge, where he will, for the second time now, be the LSU basketball coach. Ton of reaction that we're going to get to throughout the course of the show today. But the Tigers will open up a baseball weekend starting tomorrow. Kentucky's coming in. Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, good enough to join us as he does each Thursday. Yo, man, how are you?
I'm doing well. You guys have had plenty of storylines over the last 6 months, huh?
Kendall, it is... like, this place is, and Lane always does the just different thing, but, like, I mean, who rehires a coach they fired for cause? I mean, it's just, like, LSU is...
only LSU.
Seriously. But I think people here embrace that about this place. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's different here, and we don't care. People, like, actually enjoy the fact that it's a different kind of place, but...
I will tell you this, man, and this is the reason why I love people from Louisiana. You will not ever meet anybody from Louisiana who cares at all what anyone outside the state thinks about them.
That's kind of the point. I mean, it's why
it's kind of awesome, actually. In modern America, it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, look, LSU's going to welcome in Kentucky. Tigers are really in desperate need of a series win, man. How do you handicap this with the Tigers and the Wildcats?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about Kentucky is they're going to make you beat them. They're not a team who's going to make a lot of mistakes. You know, they got one of the, I don't know if he'll end up starting at short just because he's been in and out of the lineup with an injury. But, they got one of the better, infielders in college baseball, maybe the best, in Tyler Bell. To be determined whether or not he's up the middle this weekend. But Luke Lawrence is another really talented infielder for them. They don't, again, offensively, they're going to have a really solid approach. They will not be afraid to test LSU's backstop a little bit. They will try to steal bases. They will do things a little differently. So that's the biggest thing for me. But, just going to LSU from just looking at the team, like it's hey, can we put together a really good weekend? Last weekend, I felt like there were times where the pitching was pretty good against Oklahoma, and the offense just wasn't able to take care of business. And there's really kind of four guys a circle here when I look at the offense. Is when you look at the conference numbers right now, Stephen Mion, 240, Trent Carraway, 182, Dardar, 167, York, 125. If you have four of those guys have started all but one game in conference. If four of your hitters are hitting in that range, man, your lineup's in trouble. So that's the thing I'm kind of keeping an eye on going into this weekend.
You mentioned the pitch. Look, I mean, Kendall, LSU's pitching allowed 9 runs in 3 games last weekend and lost the series. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
I mean, at home. Whenever you think about losing Cooper Moore, though, for what seems like it's going to be a month, I mean, is that something that LSU can overcome?
I think they can. Like they're gonna have to be more consistent offensively to be able to do that. I mean, I do think if you look at this pitching staff as a whole, I mean, there's certainly, there's more than enough talent to kind of fill in that void, but there's no doubt. I mean, for the most part, he has been really good. So, just some guys around him specifically. I mean, I'm looking at the offense. They're going to have to step up and help these guys out this weekend, because here's the thing. I was just kind of looking at LSU's schedule while you were talking, and right now, again, it's too early to be looking at RPI. Please do not go look at the RPI and go, oh, no, we're screwed. Well, they are sitting at 105 in the RPI, which is kind of mind-blowing, really.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you look at the next few weeks, Kentucky at home, at Tennessee, at Ole Miss, A&M. Of course, we always know that series can kind of go either way in baseball. And then at Mississippi State, I mean, this is pretty close to a must-win, because if you, let's just go ahead and go in the SEC. Let's assume you lose those road series, right? Because that's typically what's going to happen with two pretty even teams in the SEC. I mean, you combine that with the Oklahoma and Vanderbilt series loss, this team is in a lot of trouble. So I think this weekend is very important, not only in terms of the record, but hey, let's start a new streak. Let's start a new identity here with this team.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but you would have to do something improbable in the final month of the season.
I'm getting to the point with the team for sure. And I know you're going to be like, well, of course you are. But, I mean, I am to the point with the team where I think if they got to Omaha and won the national championship, I think I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like after almost 2 months, they kind of are what they are at this point. That doesn't mean they can't get a lot better. But can they get that good? Can they get the LSU standard good? I don't know about that just now.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say they missed on a handful of these transfers, and so you're going to have maybe some young guys step up and play a lot better to get you through. Hey, there's 2 ranked series this weekend in the conference. Oklahoma and Texas is obviously the marquee when the Sooners came to Baton Rouge, took 2 out of 3. How do you think that one starts tonight, by the way, on the SEC Network at 7 o'clock for those interested? How do you think that one goes with OU and Texas?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Texas last weekend. And they go to Auburn, and, I don't know if you saw those crowds last weekend just because a lot of people weren't paying attention to it with NCAA tournament. But, I mean, they had 8,000 people there, and it looked like a zoo. So for Texas to go in there and win that series after losing a heartbreaker in the opener where the ball goes right between Aiden Robinson's legs, that was pretty impressive. And so I think Texas going back home against Oklahoma, they moved Cam Johnson to the Friday role instead of the Thursday role. I'll be interested to see how he handles that. I think this is kind of the last hurrah for Cam Johnson. I mean, that's 13 walks in the last 2 starts. You just can't continue to run that guy back out there. So I like Texas at home in this series, but I do think it's going to be a hard fought one. I think, as you guys saw, Oklahoma's a tough team, and they've got more than enough arms from a pitching perspective.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. South Carolina fires Paul Maneri. That's not necessarily surprising. Maybe the timing might be. You got a thought on that decision?
Yeah, I mean, you had to do it. I mean, I watched their Tuesday game against Charlotte, and I mean, I'm not going to say they were intentionally losing, but I mean, it was so bad that it looked like that. And I just think when you look at the relationship that kind of he and Terry Rooney kind of had with his players out of that university, it's just one of those things where I think Paul's a really good coach. I don't think he was a really good coach for the situation that they have right now, the NIL era, where you're going to have to do things in a different way. I just think it was a really bad hire in that regard. And the other thing, too, is as much as I love Paul, I didn't love some of the stuff he said after the fact, complaining about the fans, complaining about the media. It's like, dude, how are you the coach at LSU for as many years as you are? And, the media in South Carolina, of all places, bothers you. That just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
He never lost at LSU like he lost at South Carolina. That's probably.
LSU fans would have legitimately probably kidnapped him had he lost that much.
Hey, before you go, I was asked, give me an off the radar series maybe that you're keeping an eye on this weekend.
Yeah, I think Oregon and UC Santa Barbara would be a really good one. I mean, Oregon can really hit. UC Santa Barbara has one of the best pitchers in Jackson, Florida on Friday night. And then how about this one? This is a cool series. You don't see this very often, but Oregon State is an independent baseball. Mercer, who is 21-4 so far this year, they go to Corvallis, Oregon.
Okay.
From the state of Georgia for a 3-game series this weekend. So that's pretty cool. Then in the Big 12, you got West Virginia, number 17 in the country, at Arizona State, number 22. Arizona State, one of the best players in the country, in Landon Harrison. So those are kind of the highlighted ones for me. And then Mississippi State at Ole Miss is certainly top of mind. Ole Miss without Katie Townsend this weekend, but they played really well against Kentucky last weekend in Oxford.
It's Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Get him at Kendall Rogers. We appreciate it, man. Thanks as always.
Hey, you need a vacation after all this, dude.
Hey, man, I ain't going nowhere, man. This is, if you don't love being here on air on days like this, man, what are we doing the job for?
Your advertisers are like cha-ching.
Bro, Kendall, so we're at the Spine Center today. I was telling them as we came in their marketing post, I was like, how lucky, this is the first time we've ever been at this location. I was like, how lucky are you that the first time we have ever done a remote broadcast at your location is the day LSU hires Will Wade?
There's a lot of adjustments going on today in Baton Rouge.
Oh, man, it's incredible. Oh, God. All right, thanks, Kendall. We appreciate it.
Keep up the good work, dude.
Thanks,
See you
man.
soon.
We'll see you. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. We're getting fitted for those national championship rings in basketball, right? Right? No. What about an engagement ring? Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry can help you there. lmfj.com. That's the website for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Locations in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. They're online at lmfj.com. Hey, look, I love telling you about Lee Michaels because, man, they're just, I use the Goldilocks analogy. Like, the box store jewelers tend to be, maybe not as good as, tend to be sort of cookie cutter. The boutique jewelers, not as good a selection and tend to be overpriced. Lee Michaels is that perfect sweet spot. They're big enough to be able to give you great prices, but also great selection and the personalized customer service, the Lee Michaels experience, as they call it. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. We are at Spine Center. Thursday shows presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. We're going to knock out a quick break, come back, wrap up hour number one. Get your reaction in on all things Will Wade. Email me, tweet me, text me. We're doing a ton of Will Wade stuff throughout the day, as you'd imagine. Do have to get an LSU football practice report in about 15 minutes. Stay here, it's AFR.
After further review.
Thinking about selling your home? First call needs to be to Darren James. I'll give you Darren's cell in just a quick second, and it's legitimately Darren's cell. I mean, you can text him. How many people would be terrified giving their number out on the air? Not Darren. Flood him with calls, man. You want to sell your home? Call Darren James. You want to know how much your home is worth? Call Darren James. You want to find out about the things that tell you all the time, like the Love It or Leave It program? Buy a home from Darren within a year for whatever reason. You have to move. Don't love it. Don't like your neighbors. Get transferred for work. He'll sell your home for free for his half of the commission. It's a Love It or Leave It program. So many different ways that Darren James makes sure you have an exceptional customer service experience when it comes to selling your home. Moving is one of the most stressful people, consistently surveyed by Americans. One of the most stressful experiences in life is moving. Darren's objective is to make that as stress-free an experience as possible and to get you results. So call Darren. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
The Tigers don't cut corners on the floor. Parrish Construction and Roofing won't cut corners on your home either.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
And thinking about who we are and what we are, Wolfpack A for something. We're going to go find a coach that agrees and understands who we are and what we are. For the past 7 years, we've built a culture in the athletic program based on trust and accountability. We got coaches that want to be at NC State. They want to be a part of who we are and what we are and represent this great university.
That is NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan, who held a press conference today with the announcement that Will Wade obviously is taking the LSU job. And you could tell there's some hurt feelings and exposed nerve endings, and you can certainly understand it. NC State hired Will Wade a year ago from McNeese, thinking that they had their guy for the next decade plus, whatever it may be, that would lead them to prominence in championships. And after 1 year, Will Wade has left. The other thing that was interesting is Boo Corrigan was asked if LSU was in contact during the season. Here's what he said.
I think that's a question you need to ask LSU and you need to ask Coach Wade. I've got my own thoughts on where we are. I know that the number of times we had conversations about the job, including one time where it was, do we need to talk about this? And the answer was no. I believe a number of people may have been at the ACC tournament where the answer was a definitive, I'm going to be here. So I think that's a better question to answer by LSU.
The answer that Will Wade gave in the ACC tournament was not a definitive. He wanted to be there. We talked about it here. I'll tell you, one of the things that's surprising to me is how surprised NC State is. And I'm not picking up. So Noah Fleshman's going to be here in about 35 minutes, 40 minutes or so. Noah Fleshman was with us last week, if you remember, when we were talking through some of this stuff. And he was pretty adamant that Will Wade was going to be at NC State and laid out all the reasons why. And the thing that struck me about that then is how dismissive or maybe unaware they were from that side. And the reason, I think sometimes we take this for granted, okay? You're an LSU fan, you live in Louisiana or have lived in Louisiana. You understand the strange political bedfellows here, right? It's so not normal for the governor of a state to be influencing a basketball hire. That's not a normal thing that happens. It is here. It happens here, but that's not a normal thing that happens around the country. So we all have been so aware for a year now of the attempt that Governor Landry and Lee Mallett made a year ago to get Will Wade from McNeese to LSU. They got blocked. But that interest never waned. And we talked about it openly on this show when Lee Mallett when they moved Scott Ballard out of the LSU Board of Supervisors and promoted Lee Mallett to chairman of the board. We talked about it here on AFR. I did a Locked on LSU episode about it. We tweeted about it. It was everywhere. How could you not know what was what pieces they were moving on the chessboard? Now, it doesn't mean you're going to consummate a deal. They tried to consummate the deal a year ago and fell short. But they were going to try. And to not have the awareness they were going to try is is a little perplexing and I think a little naive on the NC State side. I don't blame them for being upset, not a lick. But I also think to not have seen this percolating is bizarre. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. Let Parish come and spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's cost-effective, it's efficient, it's effective, commercial or residential. Home, schools, doctor's office, gyms, anything. Sanitize your space, get rid of toxic mold, other odor, parishrestoration.com. Hour 2 from the Spine Center coming up right after Sports Center.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Tell you every day, name brand tires at wholesale prices. What they do at Shawbills, it's a simple model. It's easy to say, hard to do, but Shawbills has done it for almost 60 years now, since 1968. They're going to get you in by selling you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price. You want Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Firestone, best tires on the road at the cheapest price. They guarantee that, as a matter of fact. It's part of the Charlie's Dozen. Buy tires at Shawbills, find that tire advertised cheaper somewhere else. They'll refund you 125% of the difference. So they're not going to be beat on price. That's number one. And when you go in to buy tires, they're going to treat you so well, you're going to go back there every time you have anything wrong with your vehicle forever. It's worked for 60 years. It's Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
The Cane's Box Combo. A symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A very un-Paul Skeens-like performance from the Pirates ace on this opening day in Major League Baseball. Didn't make it out of the first inning. 5 runs on 4 hits. Mets beat the Pirates 11-7. Brewers spotted the White Sox an early 1-0 lead, then scored 14 unanswered runs. Milwaukee with a 14-1 lead, top 8. Nationals up 8-4 on the Cubs, bottom 8. Kyle Schwarber, 2-run shot. Phillies leading the Rangers 2-0, bottom 3rd. Dodgers kick off their three-peat quest tonight versus the Diamondbacks, 8 Eastern ESPN Radio. LA heavily favored to win again, but one AL West team might derail LA's latest title pursuit, says ESPN's Eduardo Perez.
I look at the Seattle Mariners, and I think they have the pitching to be able to neutralize any team in the big leagues. It all starts there. Then they have the defense. They can run it down in the outfield really well. They're very well coached in the infield.
Eduardo Perez on game night. Duke guard Caleb Foster, fractured foot. Game time decision for the Sweet 16 tomorrow against St. John's. Foster's missed the last 5 games with that injury.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, the UConn women continue to roll, but will any team be able to stop them on their quest to back-to-back championships? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We are live today from Spine Center in Baton Rouge, SpineCenterLA.com, SpineCenterLA.com. Put back pain behind you, SpineCenterLA.com. Will Wade returning to LSU. It's the giant story of the day, and it's something we're going to spend the lion's share of today discussing. Bottom of this hour, we're going to head to Raleigh. Noah Fleshman, who covers NC State, is going to be with us. He was here a week ago, and it'll be interesting to kind of get a little boots on the ground perspective of from that perspective how everything transpired and the reaction. So we'll tell that story coming up in 30 minutes from right now. I do want to talk about Heath Schroyer's role, the buyout, what all this means financially for LSU and the rest of the sports. As I look through the text line, that's the majority of the comments are people celebrating, naturally. Very excited. If there's the people who are having a bit of trepidation, it's, I'm excited about Wade, but what does this mean for resources for other programs as well, if you're going to pull resources to men's basketball? Again, I'm going to get to that in a bit. While all of us were on Wade watch, some of us were also out at LSU football practice on Thursday. It was the second of 15 spring practices. Media got to watch 5 periods. So about 30 minutes, just a little less than 30 minutes that we were out there. Again, the first period that we got to see was the 11-on-11 hurry up, no huddle period, which might just be offense, right? I mean, they're going to go fast. And on Tuesday, if you remember, as we went through this, we weren't where they had us positioned. We couldn't see because we're on the west sideline and there's 2 fields parallel to each other, long ways. So there's 4 fields, but the ones were on the far field and we were on a sideline looking where the 2s were. So we just couldn't see the ones where we were. Today, they let us go to the north end zone as well of the 2 fields. So I was able to go watch the ones. And there was, I'm not going to bury the lead here, there was a giant surprise, kind of literally, on the defensive line. This was your first team defense. Your defensive ends were Jordan Ross, the former 5-star transfer from Tennessee, and Prince Will Uman-Mielen, the transfer from Ole Miss, the number 1 edge in the country in the portal, right? That's no surprise. But your 2 interior defensive linemen, your 2 defensive tackles running with the ones, true freshmen, Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson. How about that? I'm not in any way suggesting that when LSU plays Clemson on Labor Day weekend that Geralds and Anderson are going to take the first defensive snap. But it's certainly notable when you've got returning players like Dominic McKinley and a veteran transfer like Malik Blockton coming in from Auburn, and then other players like Sean Washington still around, that the 2 freshman early enrollees were running with the first team there. The linebackers are TJ Daugherty and Devon Keys. Whit Weeks is out there, is not participating. And then your safeties were Ty Benefield and Tamarcus Cooley. Your star was Deshaun Spears. As we kind of heard this offseason that the idea was to move Spears to that, from safety to that star role. That would be an opportunity to get your 3 best safeties on the field with Benefield, Cooley, and Spears all at the same time. And honestly, Spears probably fits that star mold better because he's more versatile. I mean, you think the last 2 years since they've used that position, Major Burns was a very physical guy at the line of scrimmage, really struggled in coverage and in space. Last year, Harold Perkins, very good in space, but and we know he could rush the passer, but certainly struggled to turn and run and cover. This is a guy in Spears who we know is big enough and physical enough to play the run, but also has coverage skills. So this might be finally the right guy in that position. Offensively, we've talked a ton about the offensive line. This, for me, is the single biggest question mark going into spring, is how this position group shakes out. It was your worst unit a year ago, and you went and made over almost the entire thing. Your first offensive line, left to right, no surprise, Jordan Seaton, the transfer Colorado, was at left tackle. Devin Harper was at left guard. Remember, Devin Harper from Calvary Baptist was an LSU commit, flipped to Ole Miss, redshirted in 25. The Ole Miss folks said, I don't cover Ole Miss, but my friends that do and colleagues that do insisted that Harper was in line to be the starting right tackle next year at Ole Miss. So to see him in line here with second day of spring, but running with the first team at left guard was interesting. Braylon Moore at center, Aluba at right guard. Aluba is the Maryland transfer. Remember, he was a top 100 overall prospect in the country, went to Georgia, redshirted, transferred to Maryland. Last 2 years, he started every game at right guard for Maryland the last 2 years. So a 2-year starter in the Big Ten. No surprise that he fits right in there at right guard. And then Weston Davis was running with the first team at right tackle. Landon Clark running with the first team at quarterback. Sam Levitt is out there, but again, he's not doing any 11-on-11 stuff. He's just in the individual periods he's throwing, but he's not doing any of the team stuff. So Landon Clark was actually the one running with the first team. Caden Dermott running back, Trey'Dez Green at tight end, and then your 3 receivers were Jace Brown, Jackson Harris from Hawaii, and then Winnie Watkins. One note is that Watkins on the roster is listed as number 8, but he's out there. There was a 6 at receiver. The 2 6s on the roster are TJ Daugherty and Husan Longstreet. So I think Winnie Watkins is the one wearing 6 out there. Because there's no 8. Watkins on the roster is 8, but there's a 6. So that's very likely who that is, who is out there running with that first unit. A couple other things I thought were interesting today, and a lot of you have noticed this from some of the video we've posted, so that's very astute LSU fans who know what they're looking at. So Kevin Peoples, who was the edge coach a year ago, is not working with the edge rushers. Actually, even on the website in his bio at LSUsports.now, it says interior defensive line. So Peoples is working with the defensive tackles, and Sterling Lucas is working with the edge rushers. Lucas's title is defensive line coach, but Lucas is working with the edge. Peoples is working with the defensive tackles. I do think this will be interesting for June when Lamar Brown shows up. Because remember, Lamar came on the show over the summer and said that LSU wanted him at edge. Now, it's a different staff, but he wanted to play defensive line. And every time that he was at practice and we got to see him when he was observing practice, Lamar Brown was over there watching Kevin Peoples' group with the edge. So is he going to play edge? Does he move with Peoples to the interior? Don't know. Different coaching staff, same defensive staff, but we'll see what that might mean come June. Stephylan Green, the Clemson transfer, was absent again. Didn't see him during the individual periods. So that's one worth keeping an eye on as we continue to move throughout spring. And I tell you, I thought it was also interesting watching Blake Baker and Chris Kiffin. They sort of switched today. Baker was, today working with was working with Deshaun Spears, CJ Jim Coyley, Aiden Hall. I got some video of this, actually, I'll post on my Twitter and my Instagram as well. But Blake Baker working with the Stars. And those groups have switched a little bit as well, with working with both Baker and with Chris Kiffin. So they're co-defensive coordinators now. But and Chris Kiffin's the linebackers coach, and Baker's working with the Stars. But they've sort of been interchangeable with how they're managing what they're doing out at practice. If you're looking for the all-uniform team, man, Ty Benefield, that safety, wearing number 2. They got him listed 6'3", 211 or something like that. I'm not looking at a roster in front of me right now, but man, he looks the part. You know, when you look at a guy that is giant, long wingspan, physical dude, they were all in on Ty Benefield at safety, and with good reason, man. He looks mighty impressive out there. Expect a big season for number 2 in LSU's defensive backfield. So just a few notes. They'll be off Friday, and then they'll be back on the practice field on Saturday. The media is going to get 30 minutes. There's no camera or photo opportunities on Saturday. Generally, when that happens, it's because they're going to let us watch something they don't want on video. So maybe we get to watch a little bit more practice on Saturday, but we'll have a full report for you there as well at louisianasports.net. So you can check out today's report at louisianasports.net and all our Will Wade coverage as well. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. Hey, I love telling you about First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. That's FirstSouthLand.com. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 100 acres in Covington to build your family's dream home. Maybe, you know, if your family's like my wife's family, there's 3 sisters, they're all so close. Like, I could see them wanting to, like, buy a bunch of property and build 3 homes on it and all live near each other. A lot of people do that. You want that property? First South Farm Credit can help you finance that land. Maybe you want that recreational property in Mississippi or that hunting property in Texas. Remember, they can help you finance land in anywhere in the contiguous or lower 48. So it's First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. All right, glad you're hanging out with us here. We are brought to you by this. We're here live at the Spine Center here on this Thursday. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, gorgeous location. If you're going down Bluebonnet, you turn on to Picardy, and we're right here in the building on the side. Actually, the second floor of this building is the Williamson Eye Center. And then you come up to the third floor. Here's where we are at the Spine Center, SpineCenterLA.com. Put back pain behind you. If you got back pain, don't live in pain. You want to get off meds, they have options. It's Spine Center of Louisiana, SpineCenterLA.com, SpineCenterLA.com. Okay, quick break. The biggest question I think that most people have asked with respect to the Will Wade hiring is, okay, what does this mean financially for all the other sports with the resources that Will Wade is going to pull? It's a very good and fair question. I'll get to that and give you some thoughts when we continue here. It's AFR.
AFR.
REV, Let's Rev. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. Hey, our friends over at Rev want to help you, home or business. When we talk about Rev, this is your internet service provider. They can do home automation, security, telephone, cable, TV, connected devices, all of that sort of stuff. That's what Rev does. And they've done that for 90 years. And they're local. REV. Go to Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. They're going to give you better prices and better customer service, and they're local. The thing that I love the most, now I experienced this when they came to our home and did the install. Of course, they laid fiber in our neighborhood. I've told you that. But when the Rev crew members came to our house, super friendly, worked so hard, and you could tell, take a ton of pride in being part of a local business. REV, home or business. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient. And the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
When somebody knowingly has broken a major NCAA rule at the time, it's no longer a rule, you can pay players now. When he willingly breaks it, you are getting in bed with somebody who doesn't care about rules. He doesn't care about, it sucks for NC State because I think he's a good basketball coach, but I think he isn't necessarily the most morally or ethically sound person in that group. He's gone.
So they knew what they were buying.
They did.
That was Adam Gold on ESPN 99.9. I was actually on his show earlier today, and it was flabbergasting to hear. It was a good conversation, but the misconception, it's very much a lover-scorned scenario at NC State. It's so reminiscent of what we all just experienced from Ole Miss folks. And you from an NC State perspective, you're going to take shots at Will Wade today, but you were okay hiring him, knowing that he had broken an NCAA rule. I think maybe one of the reasons primarily why LSU fans weren't appalled at the time of the strong-ass offer, right, was because we knew that's what everyone does. It's what everyone does. If you wanted to win. And now it's allowed. So it's like the people that clutched their pearls about Reggie Bush, and now everyone was up in arms and rallied to get him his Heisman back. It's the same concept. Because it was an absurdity at the time. It still isn't. It still remains absurd that was ever the case. And, with Will Wade, it's funny how narratives get told, and just, I guess, doing this job long enough and you talk to enough people and you're ear to ground enough, how time and history can tell a tale and things get remembered a certain way, whether it's how it transpired or not. But what people are going to remember is Will Wade on that wiretap, naturally, because that became the focal point of that whole investigation. But, that was an FBI investigation, not into coaches paying players. That FBI investigation had to do with the crummy agents in the AAU underbelly and all that stuff. Will Wade just happened to be talking to a player that got caught on a federal wiretap, or about a player on a federal wiretap involved in that investigation. Will Wade wasn't under investigation. He got caught on wiretap of an FBI investigation, and so it put that on blast for the NCAA to know that there was nefarious activity. But in that investigation, Bill Self in Kansas were involved, and Sean Miller was involved, and Auburn and Bruce Pearl were involved. I mean, you had some other very prominent coaches, and none of them got crucified for it because it wasn't their voice on the wiretap. And maybe because some of those other coaches were more prominent, more established than Will Wade, who was a young coach at the time. Now, my thing I've said often about Will with that is, look, his screw-up wasn't paying Javonte Smart. His screw-up was being the one on the phone. Like, he was just clumsy with it. But I don't care that they paid Javonte Smart or that they paid anybody. I'm the most, y'all know this about me, like, I'm the most extreme, let them transfer as much as they want, pay them as much as they, all that sort of stuff guy. Because the system has been jacked up for 100 years. The old people screwed it up. So good luck fixing it. I don't care how you fix it. Anyway, if there's one, I got a text from Erica. I'm telling you, as happy as you are, there's nobody happier in Louisiana today than Erica Moscona. I'm telling you, she don't know a lick about basketball, don't know a lick about sports, but she loves Lane Kiffin and Will Wade. She loves Lane Kiffin on TikTok, and she loves Will Wade because she thinks he's hilarious. Because he's like, Will Wade, God bless him to say this, and he'll hear it, and I don't care, but Will Wade is a nerdy-looking guy. Is that fair to say? Okay, she's agreeing. She's nodding, yes, okay. But then he gets all mad and stomps around, and he's boisterous and press. So she thinks that's hilarious. Like the juxtaposition of those two things. She loves Will Wade. Loves him. So the fact that Lane Kiffin and Will Wade are now at LSU, there's nobody happier. I'm telling you, nobody happier in the state than my wife. She just texted me, I hope the Easter Bunny brings me season tickets. And there's an Instagram of Will Wade standing by the Tiger cage and saying boot up or something like that. Whatever. So, but that's what Will Wade is going to do. Will Wade is going to bring the diehards will be there, but the casual fan will come back and be interested in this program. Now he's got to win. But the feedback I've gotten most, I think, this is a text from Landon, hat tip, Landon Roy, who said, Matt, I don't want to throw a wet blanket on today's news, and I'm just as excited as everyone about the Wade hiring. But Jay Johnson has made it clear he's not completely satisfied with his NIL budget. Do you know if LSU has a plan in place to budget for Wade and Jay? So that's a great question. And here's one from Sean, who said, if Texas 8-4 goes after Jay Johnson, does LSU throw money at Vitello? So the second part of that is no. The money that Tony Vitello is making in Major League Baseball will far exceed what he's making in college. There's a reason he left to begin with. But the question about resources is a very fair one to ask. Because as we know, revenue share this year, $20.5 million, 75% to football, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, 5% to everyone else. So basically, Jay Johnson got less than $1 million in revenue share. And we know, we read you the quote a million times from the Tiger Rag article where he said, schools are going to decide what they want to be good at, and LSU hasn't proven that they want to be good at baseball. It's true. He looked, and there's evidence to support it. I've told you about 1 million guys at LSU wanted via the portal that they didn't get. Braden Montgomery, who went from Stanford, went to A&M. Last year, Zach Root from East Carolina, LSU wanted him. He ends up at Arkansas. Maui Ahuna, Vaheva Aloy, some of the best players that LSU wanted via the portal that they didn't get because other places paid more. So, I told you last year, LSU was 7th or 8th in the SEC in NIL budget. They won a national championship with a mid-tier NIL budget, which is an amazing hat tip to Jay for the ability to identify, to hit on Anthony Ianson, to hit on Danny Dickinson, some of those guys via the portal and bring all that together. And, of course, you had an amazing frontline starter in Kate Anderson. But the point is, yeah, you're going to need more of a commitment. And so there is a concern to say, if football is pulling all these resources and now Will is going to get his and Kim is always going to want to get hers, where does that leave baseball? And it's hard because at LSU, baseball is a non-negotiable. Like, you have to be competing for championships at LSU all the time. Well, the resources right now aren't necessarily there for baseball. And so you wonder, will it get thinned out even more? There's two things I would tell you primarily that I think will factor in here. Well, maybe three. One, what LSU just did in football, all the fundraising, I've been told this by people involved at LSU, from their Max program and the revenue office and boosters and everything. The beneficiary, primarily what LSU just did in football, is going to be baseball because they're going to get the runoff. Think of it this way. LSU goes to a corporate partner. The corporate partner commits $1 million in NIL money through Max, right? This is the true third-party NIL, where there's no one athlete that's going to get $1 million deal. So what instead they'll do is they'll take that $1 million and they'll go do 50 different deals, right, for this company. Well, some of that is going to go to baseball. So the runoff is going to go to baseball. So that's a good thing for Jay for this year. That's one. Two is Heath Schroyer's role. Heath Schroyer coming over from McNeese, as I understand it, his role is go raise money for basketball to make sure Will gets what he wants. There's a report out there about the $15 million. I mentioned this in hour one, that Will's been guaranteed a $15 million budget for basketball. I'm telling you unequivocally false. I could not possibly be more confident in my information with that answer, that that Will Wade was not promised any budget. Not saying they weren't giving him any money, but he was not promised a number to say, this is how much we're giving you for your roster. What he wanted was Heath Schroyer. Heath did an amazing job at McNeese in generating revenue, in corporate sponsorships, and selling. And now his role, as I understand it, is going to be do that with Will for LSU basketball. That was the contingency that Will wanted, was Heath here with him to work hand in hand, side by side, to get the resources he needs. And I got news for you. Southwest Louisiana, ton of oil and gas money in Southwest Louisiana where McNeese is. Heath has those relationships. That could certainly be a beneficiary for LSU men's basketball. Just something to file away. And then, the third component of all of this is new revenue. And I've said this many times, and I'm going to keep saying it. So because something's got to give. And part of me feels like I'm just tilling the soil here, and I don't know what seeds are going to be planted and what crop is going to grow, but I just know this is going to happen. Because you're already seeing it. I'm not predicting the future. I'm telling you what's happening that maybe you're just oblivious to. LSU, because people keep asking, not $54 million to buy out Kelly, $91 million for Kiffin, now $10 million, $10.8 to buy out McMahon and his staff, $4 million to buy out Wade. Now you're going to pay the roster for football. Like, where's the money coming from? What I'm telling you is they don't have that much money liquid right now to spend. They don't. You tap your reserves, you go to your boosters, you do the best you can to get what you need for now, but it doesn't mean you have the liquid assets to pay all of these today if those bills came due. They don't. I'm telling you, they don't have the money. You've committed $91 million to Lane Kiffin over a long period of time, but you don't have to come up with $91 million today. And you can't go to Todd Graves and Gordon McKernan and Pepper Rutland at MMR and all the big boosters at LSU, every year and expect them to do the same thing to float this. And you can't just raise ticket prices. So you've got to create new revenue streams. Like, this is obvious, and you're seeing it. It's why Venture Global's on the field. It's why Woodside Energy patch is now on the uniforms, or will be. These are the new revenue streams that they have to create. And they're not done. So the question is, what new revenue streams can you create to help supplement or to help support financially all of these things you want to do? Because the old model is not, it cannot work. It is not sustainable. Like, Todd Graves is not going to fund the entire athletic department every single year. It's just not a thing. Holden Spate is not going to do it. Like, that's just that is not a real model that can work. They can get through a year, and as they're figuring it out, but they are going to have to find new revenue streams. And it's not just LSU, it's everywhere. Or you start cutting programs and decide what you're going to be good at and go bare bones and others to make sure that the ones you want to float in, you float. Like, file that away. It is the most under-talked about but most important part of this entire conversation. Where are the new revenue streams going to come from? Because they're coming. All right, it's after further review. We're going to head to Raleigh next. Noah Fleshman is going to join us. We're here at Spine Center, SpineCenterLA.com, SpineCenterLA.com. Hey, you don't have to live in back pain. You want to put back pain behind you. You want to get off of your pain meds. You can. They offer injections in office. They have ablations. Get off your pain meds. Put back pain behind you. Come here to the Spine Center, SpineCenterLA.com, SpineCenterLA.com. Okay, y'all. It's after further review presented by Decision Critical. We'll knock out a break. We're headed to Raleigh next on AFR.
AFR.
Speaking of, get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan injury returns. Had a chat with Gordon earlier today after the Wade news broke. He and I chopped it up for a little bit about it. But, you know, Gordon's been a great supporter of LSU athletics for so many years. He was the original, obviously, NIL benefactor for LSU. First NIL deal that he did was with Alexis Morris in women's basketball. Of course, kept Kayshawn here when Alabama was trying to court him over to Tuscaloosa. And Gordon has continued to grow his commitment, but it's not just at LSU or not just men's or women's sports. It's lots of different sports and lots of different opportunities for young men and women to have those opportunities to be put on a platform. And Gordon's done an amazing job of that. And of course, helping injured people in our state like he's done for 3 decades. So if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
There was no reason for me in my job not to believe the words that I was hearing coming back to me from Coach Wade. And I believe everyone here saw it, wrote about it, whatever it is, that I want to be at NC State. That's where I want to be. I look forward to growing it. I was as surprised and shocked as anyone else as this occurred, based on the previous conversations that we had.
That is NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan, who met with reporters earlier today after Will Wade's decision to leave NC State after one season to return to Baton Rouge and LSU. Noah Fleshman from On 3, the Wolf Packer, was here with us a week ago, and he's good enough to rejoin us on this pretty transformative day. Hey, Noah, thank you, man. How are you?
Yeah, good, Matt. Just got kicked out of the general aviation terminal. Other than that, doing well.
Did you get the tail number?
Yeah, well, there were two planes, both on the ground. Keith Schroyer leading the way, hugging on the tarmac with Will Wade and family, and then somebody walked up and said, "Are you waiting for a flight?" I said, "No, watching planes go by." They said, "It's not a good excuse. Get out." So.
Yeah, I don't think that that's actually legitimate. I feel like free country. You should be able to stand wherever you want, right?
Yeah, she said, "Not a public building." I was like, "But I can't watch the plane?" She said, "No." I was like, "All right, I'll leave."
Oh, you need to go. You need to go by the fence. That's where you have to go. Go outside by the fence. That's where the public property is, I guess.
Yeah, they ran some fans out of there, but the way they're positioned, you wouldn't be able to see them unless you were sitting in the building. But yeah, I mean, pretty big day for both NC State and LSU.
Hey, what? It's probably an obvious question, an obvious answer, but do the best you can here, Noah. What's the reaction up there like today?
It's as you'd expect. Pretty frustrated, pretty disappointed, as you heard from the AD Boo Corrigan. A year ago, yesterday, Will Wade was introduced as the head coach at NC State. Talked a big game, said, the reckoning is here. And 366 days later, he's about to get on the plane and head to Baton Rouge. So people are frustrated. They thought they had the coach of the future, and turns out they had a 1-year rental, and now he's going back to the Bayou.
Yeah. When did you and I spoke? I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. When did, and at the time, I think the feeling, you tell me if I'm wrong, was there was a feeling among NC State folks that Will was going to stay. The LSU overtures maybe weren't sincere. When did you start to feel this shifting?
Yeah. So we talked, I think, last Wednesday, right after they lost in the first 4 to Texas, and that's when we really felt like that. Will was more committed to staying at NC State, doing that thing, building for next year. It changed, I would say late Tuesday night, going into yesterday. I think it's when it really, shifted a little bit. It's like, this is more than just, rumors on the internet. This is like, something that could literally happen any minute. So it all moved really, really quick once that happened, obviously, and we're at where we are today.
As best you can tell, how much or what did NC State push or offer to try to keep Will Wade in Raleigh?
Yeah, I think they, offered, to increase, pay across the board, right? Not just for him, but I'm sure for the assistant coaches as well. But that's not really what Will, he doesn't care about how much money he's making per se. He's made plenty of money in his coaching career at this point at 43 years old. I mean, this is more of that, resources to build him a poodle, which if you ask NC State, they feel like they made a pretty competitive offer to him to get him to stay, and felt like he, the whole time, basically until yesterday, was saying, like, cool, that's like, we got all we need, we can win with that. I think that's what's frustrating, especially Boo Corrigan the most, was Will was telling him one thing, and then at the last second kind of pulled the rug out from under him a little bit.
Do you know, I know this was asked of Boo Corrigan, but I'm curious if you've been able to decipher anything. When LSU or Rep started making contact with Will or with his agent, Jimmy Sexton?
I haven't been able to decipher it yet. I have, like, Luke Corrigan says he doesn't really know. That's an LSU question. But, like, at the same time, in Will's contract at NC State, it stipulates that if another program reaches out, he has to let them know. So there is definitely they know it when this happened. They haven't shared it. I've got, a FOIA request in to try to get that email or whatever, like the written, notification that, hey, LSU is interested, we're talking, whatever. But no, I don't really know. But, this has been a thing, as you probably know, like, since November that, could he go back to LSU? That's been on the radar, since that time.
Yeah. It's a story we've talked about here, quite honestly, for a year, because you had the governor and the now board chairman pushing hard to make this happen a year ago when Will was at McNeese. It's a strange story. There's no question. Do you suspect, Noah, that there would be any potential action from NC State if, in fact, Will was found to be in breach of his contract?
It's hard to tell. Based on, people I've talked to, based on Luke Corrigan's conversation today, they kind of want to move on from Will Wade. They feel betrayed in a way. Lou, I don't know if you noticed today, he basically said he felt like he was lied to. And so I think, in a way, like, if there was a way for them to do it, I think they would have found it by now, to be completely honest. I think they're more of, just taking the $4 million from LSU and moving on and go finding a new coach and just turning the page.
Why do you think they were willing to negotiate the buyout?
Yeah, I think because, as you know, if they waited till next week, LSU that is, then this buyout would drop $2 million. But a week, especially, that would put it April 1st, total opens April 7th. That's not much time for NC State to really get a coaching search done, getting a new coach in here. So they were willing to negotiate it to basically not be held, captive by that week time frame, right? So they were willing to meet LSU in the middle, and they took the $4 million basically just to let Will go on his way and to let them move on too. So it's kind of one of those things where they didn't want to get, caught any longer. They'd rather just move on and get ready for this next coach. And he's just to build a whole new roster in a couple weeks.
Noah Fleshman's with us, the Wolfpacker that's part of the On3 network. You covered Will Wade for a year. What are your impressions of Will Wade, having covered him?
I think he's my favorite coach that I've ever covered. I mean, like, press conferences are, a must end, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter what game it is. If they're playing, a random school from middle of nowhere, if you're playing, Virginia. Like, I think that was the best part about him, right? He's honest, he's open, he explains basically everything he's thinking, and he doesn't care what other people think. So I think that's the biggest thing. But, he also did a lot for NC State in 1 year. This basketball program, he basically pulled it out from the basement of the ACC and left them at a pretty good spot, and for whoever this next coach is, to build off of moving forward.
There's a lot of people in Oxford, Mississippi that hate LSU, and I feel like there's a lot of people in Raleigh, North Carolina that hate LSU now as well. Do you think this is something that will linger?
Yes, especially if the schedule makers decide the ACC Challenge to send LSU back to Raleigh.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about it. I was like, there's no way they're going to schedule each other in a non-conference matchup. But there is a way that could happen.
If ESPN wants some good ratings, NC State is due a home game in that series with the SEC. I was at the last time Will Wade made a return to the program at VCU when he was there with LSU in 2019.
I remember.
Freshman, that was the most hostile crowd I've ever seen in my life, and I think that if they were to come back again, I think it'd be on steroids. Like that crowd would need a lot of security in that game.
And LSU football is going to Oxford in week 3. Can you imagine and then like a month after that we see LSU basketball go to Raleigh? And no, I'll tell you this, man. We say it often. It is never boring here, ever. It is a different kind of place. Noah Fleshman On3, the Wolfpacker, covers NC State. Hey, man, I'll be looking forward to seeing if you get anything back from those FOIAs, but we appreciate the time on a busy day, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, man. Noah Fleshman covers NC State, was with us a week ago. It's so interesting. I think I just think it's so interesting that they got caught flat-footed, and it's maybe only just because of my understanding of here, of what it's like here. But boy, the answer Will gave after that ACC tournament game, whenever he was asked about LSU, and he's like, was the job open? It was a quintessential non-denial denial. And to not understand there was a possibility after hearing that is, I lay that at Boo Corrigan's feet. I mean, you're the athletic director. You've got to be more aware in that situation. Anyway, we're here at the Spine Center. We're on the 3rd floor here of this building. And if you go down a floor, that's the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson and the gang are right below us. Want to see 2020? Come literally to the building where we are. You can come get your back checked at the Spine Center. Go downstairs, get your eyes checked at the Williamson Eye Center. All in one place. Great spot right here off of Blue Bonnet. Hey, if you want to see 2020, call our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. They got their state-of-the-art dry eye center downstairs as well. Man, you want to, whatever refractive procedure that may be best for you to be able to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can help you. So call 924-2020 or go to WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We appreciate so much Blasia and her team for all the great work that they do. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, I got a break here from Spine Center. When we come back, Muse will have Tigers in the Pros. A busy third hour still ahead. Caught up with Kentucky head baseball coach Nick Mingione. You'll hear that conversation coming up in a bit. And what realistically do we think is Will Wade's ceiling on the court at LSU? Going to get into that as well. You can get your emails, tweets, texts in as we roll along here on a Thursday edition of AFR from the Spine Center.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Watermark and Renaissance. God, I tell you what, I didn't even plan this, but it's true. So we're here at Spine Center. Just below us on the 2nd floor is Williamson Eye Center, and about, 100 yards to my left is the Renaissance Baton Rouge, right here on Bluebonnet, like 100 yards from where we are. I can probably see it if I bend around that corner. Anyway, Renaissance Baton Rouge, it is an amazing, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Renaissance Baton Rouge is so awesome. You walk in, sprawling, tons of guest room. So, if you have family coming in town for spring break, Easter, or you're already starting to plan next year football season or a baseball weekend coming up, make sure they know about Renaissance Baton Rouge. Book your room, convenient access to I-10. You can get anywhere in town super quickly. They got Tallulah, the Terrace Restaurant Bar, indoor-outdoor flow, all the amenities, gym, the workout facility, the business center. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we're here at the Spine Center in Baton Rouge, spinecenterla.com, spinecenterla.com. Put back pain behind you, spinecenterla.com. All right, we're going to get to some, so LSU football practice today. Lane Kiffin with reporters on Tuesday, players with reporters on Thursday. So Whit Weeks, Trades Green, Jordan Seaton all met with reporters. Let you hear some of the highlights coming up in just a little bit. Right now, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Opening day across Major League Baseball here on this Friday, and boy, it was a forgettable opening day for Paul Skeens. Skeens lifted after just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, walked 2 and struck out 1, 37 pitches. I love early season ERAs. 67.5 for the reigning Cy Young Award winner. It was not all his fault. O'Neal Cruz misplayed a couple different balls in center field that really compounded the inning on Skeens. But look, he's well rested and he'll be ready to go for his next start. The Mets got the win there over the Pirates on opening day. Alex Bregman's first opening day with the Chicago Cubs. He was 1 for 4 in the ball game. That one was a single. Did reach base a second time, though, via the walk. Was stranded both times. He was on base today, and the Cubbies got handled by the Nationals. Rangers are in action right now. Josh Smith, currently 0 for 2 in the ball game with 1 strikeout. He played all over the field a year ago. He's at second base here on opening day to start 2026. Some NBA action. Couple former Will Wade players going against each other. Tari Eason and Naz Reid. Naz got the better of Eason and the Rockets. 14 points for Reid, 13 rebounds. Nice double-double off the bench in 31 minutes. Eason, in a losing effort with the Rockets, turned in 3 points and 8 boards. And then Trendon Watford at 15 minutes off the bench for the Philadelphia 76ers a night ago. That was 4 points and 2 boards for him. And the Sixers rolled by 20 over the Bulls. That is Tigers in the Pros.
We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website if you want to learn more. But the bottom line is I always encourage you to take care of your health, and the Lake provides world-class health care here at home. I don't just talk about it. I live what I preach. On Wednesday, we were just across the way right over there at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. Drew sees Dr. Shaw. That's his neurologist, one of the specialists he sees. They're outstanding. My doctor, Dr. Kurt Chastain, Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group, actually just got an email notification this week that it's time for me to go for my annual physical over there. I'll be doing that coming up shortly. It's not at Our Lady of the Lake. They bring world-class health care to Baton Rouge. So, as they often say, they take care of the great champions on the field at LSU, but also everyday champions like you and me, whether it's heart, cancer, stroke, pediatrics. They do it all at the Lake. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Okay, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on, a jam-packed day. We're so thankful for our friends here at the Spine Center, Dr. McCarthy, Dr. Harrod, for having us here for the first time. What a day. I mean, the first time we're here at Spine Center is the day LSU hires Will Wade. So what's the old saying? Better be lucky than good. Well, this is what a day to be here for the first time, but a great facility, and we're happy to be here. Kentucky head baseball coach Nick Mion had a chance to visit with Coach a bit ago before the show. Let's share that interview coming up in about 20 minutes from right now. We will talk much more about Will Wade returning to LSU. He's wheels up to Baton Rouge. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
So maybe you want to celebrate Will Wade returning to Baton Rouge. I got a great spot to do it. Go by Supper Club. Right there on Perkins Road. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. That's where you can get your reservations. I don't know. My guess is that maybe the general might be at dinner at Supper Club tonight. I actually don't know that. No one has confirmed that. I shouldn't have said that. I do not know that. Just throwing that out there. Not a bad place to go if you want to have dinner. Your first night back in Baton Rouge. Pop on into Supper Club. Get one of those Sagrera cuts, maybe the Omi beef, maybe the Japanese herb beef. Find your favorite cut of steak at Supper Club, or maybe if you're not into steak, tomorrow's a Friday in Lent, don't worry about it. Chilean sea bass, Ora King salmon. They've got the amazing options. They've got lobster. They've got stone crabs. They've got Alaskan king crabs. They got everything for you. It's at Supper Club. Have the best dining experience of your life. SupperClubBTR.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. Earned by showing up, putting in the work, the hours that nobody sees. I didn't get here on my own. I trust my coaches to lead, my teammates to step up, and when the game is on the line, Our Lady of the Lake to keep me healthy and on the court. Because it takes a champion to care for a champion. I trust the Lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. If you blinked, you missed the opening day performance of Pirates ace and NL Cy Young Award winner Paul Skeens. 2/3 of an inning, 5 runs, 4 hits, tied a career high for most runs allowed in the worst start of his young big league career. Mets beat the Pirates 11-7. The Brewers season began with Jacob Misiorowski giving up a leadoff home run. He was just a bit better after that.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Maidrov. Misiorowski, the pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Blew a fastball by him at 99 for his 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
The call on 620 WTMJ. Misiorowski 1 run, 2 hits, 11 Ks in 5. He topped out at 101.1 miles per hour. Brewers routed the White Sox 14-2. Kevin McGonigal, second overall prospect in baseball, doubled in 2 runs in his first at-bat of his major league debut. Tigers leading the Padres 8-1 top 7. 2-run homer for Kyle Schwarber. Alec Boehm with a 3-run blast. Phillies up 5-0 on the Rangers, bottom 6. Duke point guard Caleb Foster, foot injury. Game time decision tomorrow in the Sweet 16 against St. John's.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're live today at Spine Center in Baton Rouge, and there is much celebration going on. Will Wade heading back to Baton Rouge. We told you shortly after 1 o'clock today. Planes or wheels up to Raleigh to go pick up Will Wade. They are en route home now, and Will Wade will be landing in Baton Rouge here this evening for the second time now, LSU head men's basketball coach. It is a wild day, and I'm not quite sure that there's any place in the country where something like this could have unfolded. I mean, we in the open of the show today, we talked about it. This is a truly unique situation. People often misuse unique. Unique literally means one, like just one. This is a unique situation. LSU has rehired a coach that it fired for cause. So that in and of itself makes this unique. But this is also a situation where LSU has tremendous alignment that they have worked to put in place, starting with Governor Landry, with Lee Mallett as the chairman of the board, with this very much as part of their intention. Dr. Wade Roos, who's LSU system president, who came over from McNeese, hiring Heath Schroyer earlier today, which was also always a non-negotiable for Will coming back. They got that done, and it put the pieces in place to get Will Wade to leave Raleigh after 1 season to come back to Baton Rouge. Probably a year delayed. You know, one of the things that I do think is sort of an interesting component, I have been asked this a good bit today, is where does Verge Osbury stand in this? Because I know typically the athletic director hires and fires coaches. And we haven't even talked yet today about Matt McMahon, which is sort of the unfortunate part of how all this came together. But that is part of the business. And Matt McMahon is a great person, enjoyed covering Matt during his time in Baton Rouge. He just didn't win enough. I mean, you went 3-15 in back-to-back seasons and left him so. And there were circumstances outside of his control with injuries and different things like that. But the bottom line is you just didn't win enough. So, and for all of this to happen with the Will Wade noise around before he was even, let go is unfortunate that it played out the way it did. But there just wasn't maybe necessarily a good way to go about doing this, because LSU wasn't going to fire Matt McMahon and conduct a search. This was we've talked about this for weeks and weeks and weeks now. This was always one of these two scenarios. They were either going to bring in Will Wade because the governor, the board president, the system president, all that wanted Will Wade, or they were retaining Matt McMahon because all the people who didn't want to move on from Matt McMahon for financial reasons were still in that camp, that they didn't want to move on from Matt McMahon for financial reasons. And so the only way that this was going to happen was Will Wade. I mean, this was a singular scenario. It was either you are hiring Will Wade or you're retaining Matt McMahon. That was it. So Matt McMahon was let go today after 4 seasons in Baton Rouge, and Will Wade is on his way back. So we'll get plenty more reaction from the college basketball world and landscape and all the impact that it'll have. Lane Kiffin tweeted, a hashtag just different welcome to Will Wade back to LSU, and we'll likely hear from Coach Wade next week. As I mentioned in the open of the show, if you missed it, it was told to me earlier today that they don't want to hold the press conference on Friday because the women's basketball team is playing in the Sweet 16. So they don't want to distract from women's basketball this weekend. And I don't think they want to hold the press conference on Saturday. So I think very likely what you'll see is Monday or early. It's not yet been decided, but very likely early next week when they'll have the press conference to reintroduce Will Wade as the LSU men's basketball coach. So LSU football was back on the practice field today out at LSU. We gave you our practice report. If you missed it, it's on demand. AFR On Demand Podcast, YouTube. You can find it. But afterwards, Whit Weeks, Trey'Dez Green, Ty Benefield, Jordan Seaton met with reporters. Probably the most notable thing here is Whit, who's been obviously not been practicing so far, talking about the spring and being out with injury right now.
I mean, overall, it's been really good. Just trying to get healthy right now. I mean, been grinding in the weight room. I mean, I don't like not being out there with the guys, but the number one goal for me right now is just to get healthy, to be able to roll into fall camp.
The other thing that I thought was interesting was him talking about Blake Baker. And, Whit was one of the guys that they identified as a key returning. I'm going to throw P.J. Woodland in there, so I'm going to say 6. And there were 3 on offense and 3 on defense. Of course, it was Pickett, Woodland, and Whit on defense. And it was Braylon Moore, Harlan Berry, Trey'Dez on offense. Those were the 6. And Whit had a decision to make, and it was a season where he was a preseason All-American, and he didn't live up to that expectation because his season was shortened and limited due to injury. But Whit talked about Blake Baker and the role that Blake played in the decision to come back.
I mean, I love that dude to death. I mean, he's one of my favorite humans in the world. So for us bringing him back, that was honestly like, once I knew he was coming back, that's when I was like, all right, I'm coming back too.
By the way, that's a returning player who spent 3 years now under Blake. Well, I guess the last 2 under Blake Baker going into year 3. And it is going to be interesting because remember, Chris Kiffin is working with the linebackers and Blake Baker is working with the stars. So they're probably going to have less practice time together this year, although it's still Blake Baker's defense. But that's a guy who's been with Blake Baker. Ty Benefield is a transfer who's just gotten here and gone through 2 practices. This is what Ty Benefield said today about Blake Baker.
Coach Baker has a similar approach to coaches that I've dealt with, in the past, and that's that coach that's hands-on and not afraid to, really, get in there and let you know how he feels and how it should be. Just a great coach who truly loves you. He's gonna get on you, but that's because he loves you, and that's how all the coaches, are. And I'm very excited to play under all these coaches.
Ty Benefield committed to LSU in January. I mean, don't let this be lost. He committed in January. The semester started a couple of weeks later. He's going through 2 practices. And he's talking about his relationship with this coach who loves you. And he's going through 2 practices. My goodness, what that says about Blake Baker and his ability to relate to his players. I thought that was incredible to hear. By the way, you're going to love Ty Benefield. I think you could probably get that just from listening to that one very thoughtful soundbite. But when you couple that, the personality with the player and the physicality, it's incredible. Play number 1, this was Benefield talking about being a hard hitter.
I've never been, when I was younger, I was never a hitter. I started off as a quarterback. And, what's funny is that I always used to avoid contact. And really kind of what changed in my life was definitely, high school. I had some life-changing events, and it kind of shaped me to be the man I am today, but also helped me to really break down that barrier of contact. So every tackle that I approach is with relentless effort and knowing that I got to make this play for my teammates.
Super impressive, man. Y'all are going to love him. He's they identified, and this coaching staff identified Ty Benefield as the single safety that they were going to go after. Like, he was their one guy. They were all in on him. And he hasn't disappointed in any respect. And you can tell he's going to be a fan favorite this year. I also thought, speaking of the transfer, so Jordan Seaton, the big left tackle, who was sort of that crown jewel at the end of the signing of the class, cherry on top, whatever you want to call it. Jordan Seaton had options, and this was him explaining his decision to come to LSU.
My decision to come here was just based off, it just means more, you know? Coach uses that quote, it's just different here, and I really believe that. Being here is really just different from how we train to how we work, and the word extra around here. Everybody, we're big on extra, because just doing what's required is not enough.
I mean, these guys are all saying the right things. It's 2 days into spring, and it's easy to sort of, quote unquote, win the press conference and be good. But some of these, like Ty Benefield and Jordan Seaton, is the first time I've heard these guys, give interviews and media availability, and they'll blow you away. So I thought it was so interesting, too, listening to Jordan Seaton talk about Cookie, Lane Kiffin's nephew, how he's the closer. It was a great soundbite as well. He also talked about, like, his body transfer. Play number 2, Muse, he talked about about how he sort of transformed his body. It's been a story that's been told a little bit right now. But listen to this one when he talked about what sort of motivated him.
It was a random person. He was running hills, right? So Trey Daz was like, hey, man, you trying to run hills on Saturday? I'm like, I'm down. I was like, I already thought about it because I just seen somebody randomly running hills. I'm like, it just made me feel like he was outworking me. So I was like, we got to run hills. So we were on the same page without even knowing, which was crazy.
Dude was up there running the levee on a Saturday just because he saw someone else running the levee. Like, I said this earlier in the week about Jordan Seaton, and it's worth repeating for those that missed it. There's this old axiom with the NFL, with the draft. It's the thing you don't know is how money will change someone. You could have the great work ethic, all the stuff, but when they get paid, does that change them? Well, Jordan Seaton's a guy who got paid a giant number to come here, and he went into the portal, left Colorado. He could have stayed at Colorado, still been a first-round draft pick, but he left Colorado, went into the portal to go try to get a payday and maybe play in a better conference, all that sort of stuff. He got his money, and what has he done so far? He's transformed his body. The work ethic's there, all of it. So, whenever we talked so much throughout that portal window about the evaluation, we used that word a million times because everyone I talked to within that football program, if it was coaches or players or parents of players or front office people or whoever, boosters, they all said the same thing, the evaluation. And it's like this deck that Kiffin and Billy Glasscock use. It's so much more than just, can you backpedal on what's your 40 time? It's all encompassing, from like academics and personality and leadership, and they have a grade for all that stuff. And you hear these guys talk, these transfers talk, and it kind of fires a little bit, right? It kind of makes sense. So really impressive to hear those guys talk today. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing here in Baton Rouge and all over Louisiana, and now their Dallas, Texas office as well. Their expertly trained nurses will come in your home to deliver whatever service you may need. Last week we had a nurse at our house giving Erica was down and out again. She was getting an IV in-house. We've done that before. We've done Drew's blood labs. Maybe you're a man on HRT. You need that therapeutic phlebotomy. They can come to your home or office, do your blood draws there. It's Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Maybe you're bringing home a new baby and you need to sleep at night. Their nurses can take care of your baby for a few nights while you sleep and catch up. Or maybe it's caring for an elderly parent and you got to go to work, or you want to go out for a night out and you need care at home. Well, their nurses can come in home. It's Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, it is After Further Review. We're here at Spine Center. Had a chance. LSU baseball opens up their series with Kentucky on Friday at the Box. Nick Mingione, the head coach of the Wildcats, had a chance to catch up with him a bit ago. You'll hear that conversation next here on AFR.
After Further Review.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. Glowresources.com. We highlight employer because They're not interested in having you call if you're looking for a job. They'll find you. Who they want to talk to at Glow Resources is the business owner. If you're the business owner, the hiring manager, the ops manager, the HR manager, the VP, if you're in charge of finding the right people in your business and you need help, you need Glow Resources. Because not only can they help you find the right person and make your business the most efficient it could possibly be, they guarantee their work. 96% success rate. 96% of the employees they hire succeed, stay. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work, they'll give you a prorated refund or they'll find a replacement for free. It's Glow Resources. Check them out at glowresources.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient. And the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Hard to believe, in his 10th season at Kentucky, SEC Coach of the Year a couple of seasons ago, made the College World Series. Nick Mion, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here as the Tigers get ready to host the Wildcats out of the box this weekend. Coach, it's our pleasure. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so much.
It's always our pleasure. Hey, I know a lot's been made of this over the years, but you and Jay have a pretty close relationship you've talked about. For those that aren't familiar, can you kind of fill us in on you two, your backstory, how y'all became so close?
Yeah, I was the volunteer coach at Kentucky, and we were working a camp in Las Vegas. And I go out there, and he's at US. Oh, I take that back. At this time, he is I think he's at USD now, And we start talking, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, man, were you at Embry-Riddle?" I was like, "Yes." He was like, "I was at Point Loma. We played against each other in the College World Series." I'm like, "No way." So I just hit it off with him, 2 NAIA guys, and then I went out the next year, and we just started hanging out again, and we just started talking baseball. And I quickly realized that how bright he was, and he was a guy that I'm like, man, I need to surround myself with this dude. This dude's smarter than me, and we really have been friends ever since. And I mean, really close friends. I mean, he stayed a night in my hotel room, the night before I got married. I mean, I just think the world of him, and I really believe he's the best baseball coach in college baseball.
What's it been like watching your friend's success, like winning 2 championships in 3 years? But then also, man, it's like he's also a competitor, man. He's in your league.
Yeah, but like for me, our friendship means the world to me. I mean, he's like been an ultimate encourager for me, and I hope I've been the same for him. And when you see somebody that you care about that much have success, you can't help but be happy. And just pulling for him every time we're not playing, of course, because when you have that good a friend, yes, the competition this weekend, don't get me wrong, like I want to beat his brains out, right? Like he wants to do the same for me, right? But at the same time, when it all finishes, he's definitely a guy that for me it's easy to root for.
Is Jay Johnson a wedding dance guy? How is he on the dance floor?
Yeah, you know what? Like at the time, he came to the wedding by himself, and I don't even remember him doing anything with dancing. I can't imagine him dancing. Can you?
I absolutely cannot. But you never know, man. You get a few cold pops in you, and people get brave. A little liquid courage. You know what I mean? Maybe we see a side of Jay we don't get to see in press conferences. Nick Mingione's our guest. Hey, I want to get into the series here in just a quick second, but there's one other thing that I am curious for you and your situation, because you're in a spot where you've built a program. There's tremendous expectation. Resources in the NIL era are different everywhere, but you're at a place where, I don't know, man, it kind of feels like basketball is certainly for the SEC. It's a one-of-one for how much emphasis is there. What's it like for you in this? Because we have the conversation here with LSU all the time, but what's it like for you at Kentucky right now with the resources in the rev share era, especially with the 500-pound gorilla in basketball over there?
Yeah, I feel like we're in a great spot. And the thing I would say is when people, hopefully they watch us play, they basically say that, hey, man, Kentucky's a team. Like there's no individuals. They're legitimately a team. And I think anybody that watches us play, I think they'll tell you that. Like we have a system, a plan, there's a culture built, and we're trying to do whatever we can to help Kentucky win. Like it's about helping Kentucky win. And it's not about 1 or 2 individuals. It's just not. Like that's not how we play. That's not how we teach. That's not how we coach. And we're a team, and we're trying to win for Kentucky. And what we've done a really good job of is through the evaluation piece of high school talent and obviously the portal. So that's what we've done well, and we have what we need to be successful.
Yeah. You do it differently. I think we all know. We've watched your team for a decade. You'll get on base, you'll steal bases, you put action, put pressure on a defense. I mean, for context, 69 stolen bases. Your opponents have 20. I mean, it's a different way of doing it. Is it? Look, I mean, you obviously had a sweep of Alabama, lost this past weekend to Ole Miss, 2-1. Is it different trying to build a roster that way in the Southeastern Conference when you're kind of doing it in sort of a counterculture way, how everybody else is building their roster?
Well, to put it in perspective, 2 years ago we play Ole Miss, and they picked 10 times all year at second base. In 3 games, they picked 20 times second base against us. Like the whole year.
Yeah.
So I say all that because I like for our opponents to prepare for something different. And, your football coach is a perfect example. When you play Lane Kiffin, you better hurry up and get set. The second you make a tackle, there's no celebrating. You better hurry up and get on the ball because boom, 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 boom. Like, well, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, like that opponent has to prepare differently that week. Like it's not the normal, hey, let's go through our normal prep. Like, why are we working on picks 5 million times? Why are we working on all these bunting bits? We haven't done that since before the season started. Like, And knowing Jay, they're working on that all the time anyway, so he's not having to prepare any different because he's an awesome coach. But, like, we do force people to maybe do some things differently, and I like that. And I think easy coaching is sitting back doing nothing. Like, dude, I want to put a steal on. I want to put a hit and run on. I want to lay down a bunt. I want to hit a bomb. I want to send a guy first and third when he probably shouldn't have gone. Like, I just like creating pressure on our opponents. And I like doing things that are different. And I think easy coaching is sitting back doing nothing. And I'm not interested in easy coaching.
Nick Mingione's Wildcats will be at the box for 3 games this weekend. So that being the case, what have been your observations watching LSU, who has struggled mightily defensively this year?
Yeah, but the talent is there. Like, there's no question. Like, yeah, they may not have played their best baseball, but when you go up and down that roster, there's some really talented, good players. And you know what? Winning a national championship 2 of the last 3 years is not easy. And for this team, I mean, you just look up and down and you're like, yep, that's a real player. That's a real player. That's a real player. That's a real player. So I think you guys know this. You've seen them put it together at times. Have they put it together for the long stretches? Maybe not yet, but they have real players. And you know they're fully capable of playing good baseball.
Got a couple more for you. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Tyler Bell. I think most people know he's a preseason All-American. He's kind of been banged up a little bit this year and been limited. Can you give us an update on Tyler and maybe what the expectation is this weekend?
Yeah, he obviously, hurt his shoulder diving for a ball the very first game of the year. Sounds a lot like what Tommy White did diving back into first base years ago. For those LSU fans that remember that. So just much like Tommy, I think he probably DH'd before he got back in the field. So Tyler's been DHing, and he's really close to getting back on the field defensively. So he's getting better, though.
Wanted to ask also, just interesting and candidly just watching from afar, not covering your program on a day-to-day basis, I want to ask you about Ben Cleaver. I mean, he ate 83 innings for you last year, and it's been a little hot and cold. I don't think he's topped 75 pitches in an outing. Maybe just a thought on what's happened there with Ben so far this year?
Yeah, he got hurt in the fall and missed a majority of the fall, had a really freak accident with a piece of glass from a table at his house.
Oh, man.
Just a really freak deal, and missed the majority of the fall. Okay. So then you come back and you get to the early spring, and, he didn't play last summer because of all the stuff all the innings that he threw. So he worked on his body, did all that. And the first handful of weekends, he had not really just started pitching well. And he'd have some good outings and some bad ones, and some good innings and some bad ones. But we feel like he's trending in the right direction, so that's a good thing for us.
Tigers and the Wildcats, 3-game series this weekend out at Alec Box Stadium. Hey, whenever the dance cam comes up, you and Jay want to go meet at home plate, a little like Savannah Banana style? What do you think?
I'll tell you who will dance. Watch our dugout. They're not afraid. They'll dance. They play. They have a good time, man. If you're looking for some entertainment, watch our guys. They play loose and free, and they compete hard. Don't get me wrong, but we got some good dancers in our dugout. You'll definitely see some of that going on.
I mean, Wildcats have played loose and free this year, 20-4, off to a 4-2 start in conference play. It's a big one for both teams out at the box this weekend. He's Nick Mingione. Coach, it's always our pleasure. Can't thank you for enough time here as we get closer to first pitch on Friday.
Yeah, I always love chatting with you. Thanks.
We appreciate Nick Mingione. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters too. Oh, and shades. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Big hat tip to Brandon Holly and the crew over at Relief Windows. Awesome people. Brandon and Adrian have built an awesome business. And, man, every time you have someone from Relief Windows come into your home, it just makes sense. They're an extension of Brandon and Adrian, and you'll get it because Brandon often says to me, as a business owner, you have to be willing to spend your last dollar to make your customer happy. And when that's the mindset of the founder, the CEO of the company, and that attitude is mandated and pervasive throughout the entire organization, it doesn't matter if you're talking to Brandon or if you're talking to a sales rep or someone on the phone or if it's a measure tech or an installer, it's always that same expectation. So when I tell you about Relief Windows, they're a premium product company, and you're going to get the best customer service experience. If you're just shopping price, it's not going to be Relief Windows. Like, they're not going to be the cheapest. If you want the best, it'll always be Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, shutters, and shades too. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all. It's Thursday edition of AFR. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, and we are live today from Spine Center in Baton Rouge. Our first time here at Spine Center. They got us in the conference room here on the third floor. Beautiful setup as I look out to this beautiful tree-lined parkway, walkway out in front of the building. Great spot here. Make back pain or put back pain behind you. It is Spine Center, spinecenterla.com, spinecenterla.com. And remember, they got locations all over. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Hammond, Walker, Lacombe, spinecenterla.com. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. Jimmy will be here in 15 minutes for Otterlocks. When we come back, can Will Wade realistically win big? And I'll get to a lot of your questions, comments. So email me, tweet me, text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Got something you want to talk about, ask about with Will coming back to LSU. Hit me up. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Beautiful day in Baton Rouge, a beautiful opportunity to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Seagoneer Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Like I tell you every single day, buy local, shop local, bypass the big box stores. Clegg's has been in our community for 60 years. 60 years, y'all. So if you need mulch or soil or flowers or patio pots or seeds or anything for your lawn or garden, maybe you need the weed killer or the ant pile killer or the mosquito spray or wasp or whatever. The mosquito eradicator I tell you about the Aeon mosquito barrier that I tell you about all the time. Go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Support a great local retailer that's been in our community for 6 decades. You know what to do. Just plant something, buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice.
From local farms to your table.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Here's the thing about Will Wade. You can like Will Wade. You cannot like Will Wade. You can be frustrated with Will Wade. You can disagree with Will Wade. He is going to win. Wherever he goes, he's going to win. He's going to win 20 or more games. He's going to go to the tournament. It's what he did at LSU. It's what he did in McNeese. It's what he did at NC State in a year. He's going to go back to LSU with a huge budget, and he's going to win. And so the SEC just got even better.
Mike O'Donnell from CBS Sports HQ. Whenever you remove all of the emotion and the exposed nerve endings, both in Baton Rouge, NC State, and adjacent basketball towns, ones that care deeply and will have an opinion about Will Wade's decision leaving NC State after 1 year, and you just think about basketball, Will Wade's the only coach that has consistently won at LSU since John Brady. He made a place that, for the large part of the past 30 years, has not cared about college basketball, when he was here. There have been pockets of great success at LSU. It's such an oddity, actually, because, man, you think about quite literally some of the greatest players ever. Bob Pettit, Pete Maravich, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Jackson. Like, there's this whole thing. You ever see this where people will put up like an all-time starting five from colleges or universities or whatever? And like LSU's starting five, like, wins those brackets when they pop up, because like, all right, well, who's going to cover Shaq and who's going to cover the all-time leading scorer in the history of college basketball? It's just weird because LSU's had these pockets of incredible success and star talent, right? But it's never been sustainable here. So Will, spending 5 seasons in Baton Rouge, they went to 3 NCAAs. Year one, they went to the NIT. Every other year, they were in the tournament except the COVID year, and they were a 20-win team. They were going to make the tournament that year. So he would have made the tournament 4 out of 5 years. At a place where, like, success hasn't been consistent. So, man, I don't know what the ceiling is here. I think just based on history, it feels like it's a place where Dale Brown went to the tournament 13 times, and you can do that consistently. Dale Brown made a couple of Final Fours. John Brady made a Final Four. You can get there. The commitment, buy-in has never been consistent enough to be consistently great. But in this era where we just watched Indiana win a national championship in football, I mean, if ever there was a time where it could happen, if you hit on the right players and you build that roster and you have a coach that knows how to maximize the talent, maybe it could happen. One of the interesting things, we talked earlier about how narratives change sometimes. When Will was here the first time, one of the real common criticisms of him was great energy, great recruiter, not a great bench coach. Like, that was a big knock on Will. And sometimes they'd fall short in those moments. I don't know what that ceiling may look like. But what I do know is this. So Will Wade, and he has told plenty of people, I think you got on, and maybe if you didn't know this because it was out of sight, out of mind, maybe it makes more sense now. But Will Wade still has so many meaningful relationships here. It's a giant reason why he's back, y'all. I mean, we've talked about Governor Jeff Landry and Lee Mallett and Wade Roos, and now Heath Schroyer coming over. But my goodness, the amount of business owners and friends that he has, and people who would go watch his games at McNeese and go watch his games at NC State. I mean, like lifelong relationships, that friendships that he made while he was the 5 seasons in Baton Rouge and the 2 at McNeese. He's made it known to so many people that he believes he can win a national championship here. And if he manages to pull that off, obviously it would be something, the success of which we've never seen here. But he's had the most consistent success of anybody here, except John Brady in between, since Dale Brown. And but it'll be a fascinating journey to watch how all this unfolds. Now, Tom Hart, the SEC Network, was on the next round, Jocks in Birmingham, and kind of gave a little bit of an opinion on why it's been so hard to win consistently at LSU in basketball.
I don't know why it's been so hard down there. I mean, even when they've had great players, I think there's something to be said for not being the main sport on campus and even being pushed down when you don't win. I mean, I remember the first time a million years ago, I went down to LSU to do a college basketball game, and it was maybe late February, and they'd been losing. And I asked, hey, are we going to have a decent crowd here tonight? And they said, no, baseball's playing Tulane. And I was dumbfounded, and it hadn't really changed. But they've got money people who want to invest, and they've got people who want to win. Things have changed in these days.
Will Wade's contract, by the way, I shouldn't say the contract, the term sheet that he has signed, which is signed by Verge Osbury and President Wade Roos. This is a term that runs through the 2033 season. So from March 26th of 2026 to March 31st of 2023. So this looks like if I'm looking at this correctly, I believe that would be a 6-year deal. His first year's salary will be $3.6, and it'll increase incrementally by $100,000 every year to the final year of the deal, where it gets up to $4.1 million. It's something we talked about earlier in the show, which is Will Wade took less to come here. He'll make $3.6 in year 1, as you just heard, and the numbers that I was told that NC State was offering Will Wade in a potential deal to stay in Raleigh was more than that. And when you look at the salaries of the coaches in the Southeastern Conference, Matt McMahon was at the bottom of the list. I'm looking at it right here. Matt McMahon was at $2.957 million. Stephen Pearl was just a hair above that at $3 million. Buddy McMillan at $3.2. Porter Moser at 3.3, Mark Byington at 3.6, Mike White at 4.1, Chris Jans at 4.2, Dennis Gates at 4.25. Anyway, you get it. All the way up to John Calipari, who's at 7.7. But the point is, Will Wade's deal is still going to keep him in the bottom 3 or 4 in the conference in coach in salary. So it's not like he took some giant payday to leave NC State and come here. As we said in the open, this is very much a situation where Will Wade was coming back to a place. It's probably the only place he would have left NC State for. I know that sounds like a throwaway line, but I believe him. I believe him. All right, it's After Further Review, y'all. Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Tomorrow's Friday in Lent. A lot of people looking for seafood options. Remember, at Rouse's, every day they got hot boiled crawfish. They also have got their hot and boiled kiosks. So you walk into Rouse's, you go by the where the food is being prepared. Go check out the hot and boiled kiosk. Boiled crawfish, boiled shrimp, fried catfish, so many great seafood options for your Fridays in Lent. Get on by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Final segment of the show's coming up. Jimmy, you'll be here for Auto Locks. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. YouTube podcast, just search AFR LSU or AFR Saints to get all of our content right there. But this has been really for the most part, a one-topic day. The lion's share of this conversation has been about Will Wade. All right, it's After Further Review. We're here at Spine Center in Baton Rouge. We appreciate so much our friends at Spine Center for hosting us here for the first time and can't wait to come back. SpineCenterLA.com. We'll knock out our final break of the show. Jimmy will be here to wrap it up on a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing.
AFR.
You know, going through life feeling sick and tired all the time ain't a way to go through life. If you want to feel like your younger self again, you need to go see my friends at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. Yes, part of what they do is ED treatments. And I get it. People hear Goodwood and they see the logo and they laugh and they think it's funny. It's not just ED treatments. They do ED treatments. But primarily, men, I'm talking to you, hormone replacement therapy is something that if you have never considered, looked into, explored, you owe it to yourself and to your family, to be the healthiest, best version of yourself you can be, to wake up and have amazing waking energy, to build muscle, to burn fat, to clear brain fog, to feel and function like you did when you were in your 20s. It's possible. YourGoodwood.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
I have no doubt that Our Lady of the Lake will keep me healthy. They make sure to do whatever they can in their power to make sure that we're 100%. They're constantly giving us resources, giving us advice on what to do. I think that just really helps us be the best players that we can be.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
River Parish Contractors, they need people. I was talking to Ronnie over at River Parish a couple days ago. It was Tuesday, and he said, "Hey man, look, we bid on 4 pretty big jobs, and look, you're ecstatic when you get 1 or 2 of those. They got all 4. First of all, it's a major testament to River Parish Contractors and the awesome work that they do, and the people that are passionate about what they do over at River Parish Contractors, and that just is so obvious when you have a conversation with them or you go to their facility. But right now, they're staffing up and they need people. So if you're interested or qualified, rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Hit the Apply tab at the top of the homepage, rpcontractors.com. Great thing about River Parish Contractors, when you work with River Parish Contractors, they're local, so you're home every night. rpcontractors.com.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. We always appreciate Blasia and her great staff over at Decision Critical. As they say, it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Lock.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Almost forgot March Madness returns tonight. We get Sweet 16 games tonight. Totally forgot. What a day it's been. Jimmy's here. Otter, what up?
What's up, baby? Come on home, Willie Wade. Come on home, baby.
This place, man.
Exciting day.
This place. I mean, the amount of people who are like, what are y'all doing down there? I'm like, living large and loving life, baby.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It ain't boring, I'll tell you that much.
Worry about your own yard. We're not in the business of pleasing the competition. Get out the way.
I love it. What are we looking at tonight?
Man, favorite pick on first early tonight with, it's just this line is up to 8.5 right now with Purdue and Texas. And that, middle of the season, that might be the case. Keep in mind, Purdue was preseason number 1 as well. And they're playing well. There's no doubt about that right now. They won the Big Ten tournament. But it's also, this is a line that's based over the entire resume. And there's no question that Texas is playing much better form lately. No team has played 3 games in the tournament but them. And, it's the big guy, Lithuanian 7-footer, man, that's really developed. My podcast partner, Paul Stone, a Texas alum, said, man, he is really surging in like the last 6 or 8 games. I am a little worried about him getting in foul trouble. I think that Painter, that would be my strategy to go right at him with their 2 bigs that they have. But this is just way too many points with the way Texas is playing right now. We're going to take the Longhorns plus the 8.5. I would even sprinkle a little money line on it. That's like plus 295, plus 300.
Plus 320 right now.
There we go. So do it. My second best bet is the late one tonight, and that's in Houston. I took a little bit of a flyer on them at plus 12 to 1 to win the whole thing because there was no prices on the number 1 seed, anticipating that they would be able to play at home at the Toyota Center. Now look, the Busch Light Big Red crew is coming from Lincoln. We know that. And Iowa and Illinois are not returning tickets. So it won't be like Oklahoma City, Nebraska home court, but it is a home court advantage for the Houston Cougars. I love how they play defense the last couple of games in the tournament. Man, they have annihilated their competition. They should have annihilated a 15 seed, but Texas A&M won a game. I mean, they're up like 24 at halftime. So we're taking the Cougars at home minus the 2.5. I'm not a big fan of the Arizona-Arkansas game, so it's kind of a tough one. I might even lay it with Arizona. Arkansas just gives up too many easy buckets over the course of the game. But we already have a bet down on Nebraska. Nebraska's down to 1.5 now against Iowa, and they've kind of remedied their issues down the stretch at the end of the regular season and also in the Big Ten tournament where they were beaten by Purdue by about 16, 18 points. So they've earned that number 4 seed. I mean, I think they're just a little bit stronger. These 2 teams split on their home court in Big Ten regular season play, but we're going with the Busch Light crew. Watch out, Houston. I don't know if you'll have enough Busch Light to handle this crew, but they were so much fun, man, in that atmosphere in Oklahoma City. But we're going to ride them, man. Let's try and get to the Elite 8 for the Cornhuskers.
Texas, Nebraska, Houston, your 3 plays on Otter Locks in these Sweet 16 games tonight. Are y'all back at Rufino's tomorrow or back at Pally's?
I am off, but we're back at Rufino's, so the boys are taking it home. Parents' weekend.
Yes, Parents' weekend. We'll go see Hanny and Max at Rufino's tomorrow for lunch.
Yeah. All our regular guests will be on there giving their picks away.
Sounds great, Otter. Good luck. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. It's our pleasure. It's after further review. Remind you about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. This is industrial Generac generator power at Arco Power Systems. If you need a generator for your home, don't call Arco. Call somebody else. If you need a generator for your business, you call Arco. That's what they do. Power goes out, storm comes. What do? You call Arco. Or you call them now. so you don't wait until the storm comes. You're ready. They can sell, service, install, rent your Generac industrial standby generator. Giant medical complexes like where we are today at Spine Center, radio facilities, broadcast facilities like Guarantee Media, grocery stores, hospitals, schools, municipalities. You need a Generac industrial standby generator. You want Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com. All right, y'all, it's just about going to do it for us here as we wrap up this Thursday edition of AFR from Spine Center. And we're so grateful, man, to Dr. McCarthy, Dr. Herod, to Heather, the whole staff over here, Megan, Brooke, that did an awesome job in setting us up over here. And we're super grateful for the opportunity and the partnership. Spine Center, great spot with locations all over Louisiana. As they often say, put back pain behind you. You can do things laparoscopically. You can have a procedure and be on the beach with your kids literally the next day. Don't fear back surgery and don't live in back pain. Come see our friends here at the Spine Center. SpineCenterLA.com, SpineCenterLA.com, SpineCenterLA.com. All right, that's going to do it for us. Muse and Taylor back in studio. Thanks so much. Thanks to Alondra on site here as well, doing an awesome job as always. Kendall Rogers, Noah Fleshman, Nick Mingione, all part of the show today. We're grateful for their time. Terrio's back. We're in studio tomorrow. More Wade reaction. Counting you down to LSU and Kentucky. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Oh, and did I forget to mention that tomorrow on AFR, we're going to give away $25,000 cash, courtesy of Parish Construction and Roofing. That's a thing that's happening. You've heard our $25K giveaway. All the entrants are in. The inspections are done. And tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central, AFR, Friday, someone is winning $25,000 cash money. Cannot wait to give that money away. Call that person live on air and tell them they won 25 stacks. It's going to be so good. Love blessing people like that. We're able to do it over at Parish Construction and Roofing. And not only for the people who maybe don't win the $25,000, man, we'd still love to help you out. Repairs, replacements, commercial, residential. We can do soft wash, gutters. We fabricate our own metals. We do it all at Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me, Terrio, our whole crew. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are.
Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at DecisionCriticalBR.com and give us a call today to get started.